You ever wonder why some men seem to get attention effortlessly, while others question if they even stand a chance? Here's the truth. Being desirable isn't always about looks, money, or having six-pack abs. In fact, if you're watching this right now, there's a high chance you're already more attractive than you think. But the signs? They're subtle, and unless someone tells you, you might miss them entirely. Let's talk about those quiet signs, the ones that don't show up in Instagram likes or dating app matches, but in how people react around you, how women speak to you, how your presence shifts a room, even if no one says it out loud. First, let's start with something nobody talks about: emotional control. If you don't lose your cool easily, if you handle rejection with grace, if your vibe is calm in the chaos, that's power. And power, especially controlled power, is deeply attractive. Most people are reactive, but if you're grounded, if you respond instead of react, you're giving off a signal that says, "I've got me under control." That calm energy, women pick up on it, even if they can't explain it. Now, let's talk about presence. Have you ever noticed that people often listen when you speak, even if you don't say much? That's not an accident. That's presence. It's a type of energy that doesn't require volume. It doesn't beg for attention. It naturally receives it. True presence doesn't shout, it resonates. And if you have it, you might be brushing it off as shyness or introversion. But in reality, people are drawn to it like gravity. Here's another sign: you intimidate people without meaning to. Now, this isn't about being aggressive or rude, but sometimes your confidence, or even your silence, can make others feel exposed. If women seem nervous around you, if they stumble on their words or laugh a little too hard, it's not because you're awkward, it's because they're trying to impress you. You've already got their attention, you just didn't know it. Let's dig deeper. Ever been told you're different? That you don't act like other guys? That you're hard to read? That's not an insult. It's a compliment in disguise. Predictability is boring. But a man with mystery, a man who doesn't overshare, who leaves people wondering, that's magnetic. Desirable men don't spill everything. They allow others to earn access to their story. If that's you, understand. Your depth is desirable, even if it makes people uncomfortable at first. Now, let's talk about boundaries. If you say no when something doesn't feel right, if you don't bend over backward to please everyone, if you can walk away from situations that disrespect you, you are in the rare minority. Most men fear being disliked, but when you value your time, your space, your energy, you project self-respect, and that respect demands attention, even admiration. Women are drawn to men who have options, but don't flaunt them, who are kind, but not spineless. If you've ever walked away from drama instead of chasing it, you're more attractive than you realize. Let's flip the perspective. If you've ever had a woman stare at you a second too long, then quickly look away. If you've ever walked into a room and felt eyes on you but couldn't tell why, if a woman laughed a little too much at your average joke, chances are she saw something in you before you even spoke. Most communication is nonverbal. Eye contact, body language, the way you carry yourself, these all send signals. And if you carry quiet confidence, people notice, even if they never say a word. Speaking of body language, do you walk tall, shoulders back, eyes up? Do you take your time instead of rushing through life? Desirable men move differently. They don't hurry to please. They don't fidget to fill space. They're at ease with silence. If that's you, you're giving off a signal most people can't decode, but they feel it deeply. Now, let's be real. Being desirable doesn't mean everyone will pursue you. In fact, the opposite often happens. The more attractive you are, on a deep, soulful level, the more people assume you're unavailable, taken, or out of their league. So if you don't get chased or constantly complimented, don't take it as a lack of desirability. It may actually mean people are too intimidated to approach. Another subtle sign? People ask for your advice, even if you're not the oldest or loudest in the room. That means they trust your judgment, and trust is magnetic. Emotional safety is one of the most desirable qualities a man can offer. If people open up to you, if women feel safe in your presence, it's not just emotional intelligence, it's strength. And the world is starving for strong, emotionally balanced men. Let's not ignore ambition. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, if you're working towards something, building, growing, women notice. Drive is sexy. Vision is rare. And even if you're still under the radar, that doesn't mean you're invisible. Some of the most desirable men haven't peaked yet. They're quietly becoming. And that is a force no one can ignore for long. Now, here's a hard truth. If you've struggled in relationships, if you've been ghosted, misunderstood, or even cheated on, that doesn't mean you're not desirable. In fact, it might mean you were dealing with someone who couldn't handle your depth. The more rare your qualities, the fewer people can match them. So don't take rejection as a sign you're not wanted. Often it means you're too much for someone who wasn't ready. You see, the world often praises loudness, flashiness, popularity, but true desirability is quieter. It's the man who listens more than he talks, who shows up when it counts, who can sit with his pain without dumping it on everyone else, who respects himself so deeply that others can't help but do the same. So, how do you know you're more desirable than you think? You don't chase, you attract, you don't boast, you demonstrate, you don't need attention, you command respect. You're not desperate for connection, you value it, and that's why people value you. This is your reminder. Just because you don't hear it often doesn't mean it's not true. Many women won't tell you directly that they're attracted to you, but their energy will, their eyes will, their body language will. You've probably already had women admire you from a distance, wish they'd said something, or even replay a moment with you in their mind for days. You just didn't see it because nobody taught you how to notice. But now you know. You don't need to change yourself. You need to recognize yourself, your calm, your presence, your boundaries, your silence, your emotional depth, your ambition, your authenticity. These are not just nice qualities. They are desirable. They are rare. And if you nurture them, stay true to them, and never shrink to fit in, you'll realize one day, you were never chasing love. You were becoming the man love chases.